Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? We're on day 5 now. Take a deep breath into this. We are here, we've arrived. So you guys have done an amazing job this week. Just sticking with me and being consistent and really paying attention. You guys have been amazing students. So thank you for being here again. We have so much to cover today. So I want to make sure that we cover everything. And today we're going to get into setting up our daily game plan. So everything we learned this week, we're going to get into a quick little review. I'm going to share a couple stories. And then we're going to get into really doing some homework in the Make Life Delicious group page. And you guys, I want you all to turn your cameras on today. Even if you're in your pajamas, I don't care. I don't care how messy your house is or your office is. I want you to turn your camera because I want to see your beautiful faces. And I want you to show up for yourself. And that's what this is about, showing up for yourself in every way. Hi, Mary. It's nice to see you, Mary. Glad you could join us again. Hi, May. Hi, Alice and Teresa. So turn your cameras on, show us your beautiful faces, see each other, and know that you are really loving each other up during this time and supporting one another. In the group page, there is an Unstoppable workbook that I just uploaded this morning. And I want you to take that as your guide. It's a Word document that you can use right on your computer or print out and fill in. But basically, that's going to be your workbook to work together today, and also you can utilize that going forward beyond today. So I'm here for you, however you need. You can always reach out to me, but let's get started. So cameras on, Teresa and Lisa. Show us your beautiful faces, and I'm going to share the screen. Yeah. Okay. So nice to see everybody's beautiful faces. Today is about setting up your daily game plan. And I'm just so grateful that you guys have been able to just stick with me. How has it, give me a thumbs up if this training has been valuable to you. You've learned at least 1 or 2 things. Thumbs up, okay? All good? Good. That's the thing. I want to give you as much value as possible. And I'm really doing this because I want to save everybody's lives one by one to turn their health around and have an unstoppable mind and body. And so I want to tell you a little story. This is my dad, and I call him Appa. Okay, I'm Korean, and in Korean, Appa means daddy. And my dad had struggled with cancer for about 10 years. And he passed away. He left this universe in 2011. But I was a part of his journey for 10 years as his medical coordinator and health advocate for 10 years, trying to problem solve around his care and his well-being. And he was the impetus for me to really take the health coaching much more seriously and take it to another level. And what I could say is this: I learned so many lessons in terms of life and death, and that our life is just temporary. Our health is so fragile, and it could be taken away in a minute, in a second. And he was so courageous in his journey with stage 4 cancer for 10 years. He exceeded all kinds of statistics. They said you have 4 to 5 years left to live at most. He had lung cancer, he had GI cancer, he had multiple cancers, and he was courageous. He faced life and death. And that's the thing, we only have one life, and you know, everything we do today is seeding our future. And right now is a pivotal time for you to actually turn things around, and it's not too late. It is not too late. So anything is possible. Miracles do happen. And if you are struggling with your health right now, this is the best time in your midlife to actually turn things around. So he was the biggest learning lesson for me in terms of wanting to live a life that is fulfilled and joyful, and in the face of adversity to be able to really go beyond what is the interference around us, the chaos around us, the stress around us. Our health is the most important asset no matter what. And he was my best pal, and he's still watching over me from heaven. And I think about it and it brings me to tears. But this is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So every single person I touch and I educate and help teach about turning their health around is my mission. And so whether it's you or someone you love, you know, bring this message to them. And if they need help and support and accountability, having somebody who is a Sherpa and guide is a powerful tool. So having unstoppable health again is about being limitless. No physical, mental barriers to achieve your goal. It's when you get to a point when things are too late, it's harder to turn things around. If you are having difficulty with mobility, if you're having digestive issues, if you're having symptoms right now, this is the time that you need to take your action day in and day out to actually start turning things around and make it your body and your mind limitless. And aligning your big dreams with your daily efforts is what it's all about. And we talked about the 3 pillars, having habits, mindset, and your nourishment as key components to actually achieve your goals, your health goals is essential, And it's not just about one thing or another. It's got to be all 3. So you have the power to change the script today, every single day. And I want you to make that a choice. I hope you can make that a choice and make this a choice for your family members and the people that you love. Because you know what? At the end of the day, at the end of life, the only person that actually, the people that hurt the most are the people who are left behind. Those are the hardest. So you make those lifestyle choices, not just for yourself, but the people you love. I want to introduce my friend Alice. Alice is a member of the Make Life Delicious group, and she came to me and asked if she can share her story. Alice has exceeded all kinds of statistics. And she asked if she can share her story. And I said, I would love for you to share your story. And Alice, if you can unmute yourself, tell us a little bit about you and share with the group basically what your story is, like your background, and basically what you've kind of where you've been over the last 10 years or 6 years or 5 years. So welcome, Alice. Thank you for sharing.
Hi. Oh, somebody says audio is terrible, but do you see that chat? My name is Alice. I'm happy to be here. Friend of Tina from I don't even know how many years ago. We met in Boston area. We went to the same church, and so we've kept in touch and lost touch, but now we're back in touch. And I'm excited to share my story, and I'm hoping it'll inspire and encourage somebody to take charge of their lives, to try to be healthy, to eat healthy, to be healthy, to feel happy and at peace. And for
Mhm.
me, all these things are related to weight loss because I gained weight in my 30s and went up to the picture on the left that says December 2013 might actually be December 2009, but that was my highest weight. And that was while I was depressed also. So I
Mhm.
gained weight from being normal weight, gained about 70 pounds up to 200s. And even when I got better from depression, I couldn't lose my weight. And I was basically held back by my mobility. Like I couldn't walk without pain. Sometimes I had physical therapy on my shoulders, my knees, my arm. I mean, there was all kinds of issues. I was pre-diabetic. I had high blood pressure. I had sleep apnea. So I had health issues. And so with Tina's program, it talks about limitless. I was limited by my physical state, even when my emotional state was getting better. And I think what Tina wanted me to do is introduce my background, but so I'm by training a pastor, a chaplain, and I'm a theologian. I'm a full-time PhD student at Drew University at New Jersey, writing a dissertation on trauma, theology of trauma. And so for me to do the things that are important to me, weight loss has been very important, to be at my top shape, to be at my best self, to be able to do the things I'm passionate about.
I love that, Alice. That is so great. And Alice, like, what was the turning point? Tell us what was the turning point for you when you got kind of sick of being sick and sick of being over limit, having limitations. What was the turning point for you?
Well, I'd always been exercising and working at the gym and work with the trainer, lost some weight here and there, but I wasn't losing enough weight, and sometimes I would gain it back. But working with the nutrition coach when I was ready really was a game changer, and I couldn't have done it without her coaching.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is, well, I want to talk about the part that I was ready also, because um, previous years leading up to the pandemic, this year, I wasn't as committed and not as willing to do what it would take to be healthy and to stay healthy and to lose weight, to maintain the weight. So I could lose a weight on like a diet, like Whole30, but then I would gain it back because it was only for a finite period of time that I was committed for. I wasn't making a lifestyle change. And
Mm-hmm.
working with my nutrition coach, who's also my personal trainer, um, it really helped me to change my habits to adopt a healthy lifestyle that I didn't know how to do. So that was a game changer. And I was at a place where I was committed, willing to put in my 100%. And with coaching, that meant getting results. So I lost 50 pounds, like the slide says, from 185 now to 135. And my body is still losing weight or maintaining. So we'll see where I land. But it's just from being consistent with the healthy lifestyle and adopting the healthy habits that's led to this result.
Yeah, so Alice, that is tremendous. What you were able to accomplish is really tremendous. And you know what you did? You actually saved your life. You were going down a path. Would you agree? Like, you were going down a path where there was a lot of depression and emotional you know issues. And tell can you tell everybody basically what was it like when you were in your darkest moments, like in terms of how what your relationship with food was like?
Well, when I was depressed, I was in Boston, the time that I knew Tina, I was most depressed. And relationship with food was like not mindful eating at all. I would go to a supermarket and see a cake, and I wouldn't think, oh, I want a slice of cake. I would think, I want that cake. And I would eat in the middle of the night. And I still did, even as I was recovering. I didn't know how to, I made a bad habit of eating in the middle of the night, and I
Mhm.
couldn't stop that bad habit. And so things like this and eating my emotions away, whether it was boredom or not feeling good, I was eating my emotions away. And it wasn't even that I was, I don't know, it's not like because the food tasted so good. Like it wasn't because they food tasted good I was eating. I was just eating it to cope.
Mm.
But I didn't ever get to the point where I was binging because I wouldn't ever empty out the refrigerator. But I was eating enough to gain weight and gain 70 pounds over about 7, 8 years. So
Mhm.
going from a healthy body to gaining that much weight meant my joints were hurting, and I was having health issues. So, and I'm really thankful this started this time around this year, losing weight and keeping it off, because we know with pandemic, when you have coronavirus and you have pre-existing conditions, your,
Mm.
your outcome and prognosis is not as good. So it was very timely. It My wanting to get healthy kind of coincided with that, just independently. So I just consider myself very lucky to have lost the weight and have gotten more healthy.
Yeah, so everybody, so unmute yourself and give Alice a wahoo. Oh my God. She
Thank
turned
you.
her life around. Unmute yourself or give thumbs up, give a clap, raise your hands and give her love, okay? Send her love because she was able to turn her health around and save her life. This is about turning your health around to it's not just a superficial weight loss thing. The early signs, when it builds up, it actually can accumulate over time. And what Alice was able to do is really, really tremendous. And she was able to do it with accountability and support. So she, for 8 years, she went through, depression and unable to really get her arms around her relationship with food. And it really starts with herself. And the transformational programs that I offer, and when I say this is an inside out job, it really is, because you need to really understand, basically where you need to step outside of yourself to make that change. So thank you, Alice, for sharing your story. I know you have limited time, but is there anything else you want to share or anything before
Yes,
we jump up?
everything I did, no, I don't have superpowers. I did everything that's doable every day consistently. And so I know that other people can do it, which is why I want to share my story. And also, if you want to find me on social media, you could look up on Instagram, go ask Pastor Alice.
Okay, I'm going to type that in.
Oh, yeah, I just did.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
So you could look me up. And I write blogs about weight loss also if you're interested in that. And so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And you guys, you can totally do it.
That's
Bye.
awesome. Thank you, Alice. Thank you so much for sharing. Love you so much. And I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. You
Thank you.
guys,
Bye.
thank you, Alice. You're beautiful. Thank you so much. Isn't that incredible? So look at, she was able to lose all that visceral fat around her middle of her body. That's the dangerous fat that actually is wrapped around her organs. And that's visible from the outside. And when you actually start, adapting to a healthier diet and moving your body, this is a real turnaround. So again, what will your health look like? What will your life look like 20 years from now? And it's really, like Alice said, it's about habits. it's about mindset, and it's about the nutrition mechanics that are so important. And I really want you to take that, to heart, because it's not just about, what you eat. It's about the mindset and the habits. You have to feel like this is really important, really understand your why. So we had some daily actions, and in your workbook, you can kind of review that in the Make Life Delicious page. There is a workbook in the files section. You can download the workbook and type in. But I want you to really, if you haven't done so, really look at where's your gap? Where's your biggest struggle? Is it the nutrition mechanics? Is it your habits, your daily lifestyle habits? Is it your mindset? Is there something going on in terms of depression or emotional eating, or just the stress? And we had talked a lot about that this week in day one. And then, what is the new habit you'll incorporate? In order for you to actually change things up and mix it up, you actually have to establish new habits. And until you do that, you're always going to revert to what is comfortable, what is easy. So in the workbook, really outline what are some of the new habits that you may incorporate. And what nutrient poor foods do you need to drop? Remember, we talked about nutrient deficient and nutrient dense foods. What do you need? What's in a box, wrapper, can, in a bag, cellophane, that you need to drop? Because these are fat loss impeders, and they will hold you back. And basically, if you think it's just one little thing here and there, that one little thing here and there actually continues to pile up. It continues to accumulate, and your brain becomes trained to addiction around this food. It is a chemical response. So what will you drop in terms of your nutrient poor foods? And then yesterday we had Fred on to talk about body composition. And we talked that the key measurement around body composition is losing body fat. We have our total body measurement, but basically you can be the same weight as somebody else, but have significant more body fat around your middle, around your whole entire body. And that is fueling your inflammation. And so it's so important. It's really, your weight is a major health marker in terms of your ability to resist disease and have a strong immune health, and actually be able to recover from illnesses going down the line. Aside from having a remarkable, ballroom dancing class at 90, this is about now. So your weight is your number one health marker. So we talked about just a quick review. Remember the freeze, fight or flight state. Managing your stress actually is so key to actually your physiology and how your body responds to stress. So keep that in mind. This is so important. And in the programs that I take you through, we are going to do a lot of mind hacks and stress hacks to actually help you manage this better. And you'll get into practice, into daily efforts around managing stress. And that is such a key component of my program, because I work with a lot of busy people, a lot of busy professionals that are on the road, that are always, like trying to pound the pavement, or, juggling their families, mostly women, but also men, and everybody is, warrioring their days in and out, but they're not paying attention to their health. So this is so important as far as a key component. This is one of the secrets, okay? There's a page that says, what are the 5 secrets in the workbook? There's a 5 secrets that you discovered over this past week. And I want you to take note of what are the 5 secrets. Everybody might have different 5 secrets, because there's more than 5 secrets in this whole week. But what are those 5 secrets that were so important and critical to you that you learned? We talked about the stress cycle and the perception of an event around stress and how our thoughts and emotions come into play and how that affects us into automatic past programming. Then we talked about managing our stress, where we need to counterbalance that stress with parasympathetic nourishment, and that's relaxation responses. And in my programs, we will get into that. We'll kind of unwind the emotional hunger around dopamine and cortisol. And what does that mean? How can we tell if we have high cortisol? Lisa joined late, so you find the workbook under the files section of the Make Life Delicious group page. You can download it from there. It's a Word document. So we talked about habitual learning. We talked about, first of all, really grasping the emotion around what does it mean to turn your health around? What does it mean to have an unstoppable body? Everybody might have different meanings, but there's an emotion behind it. And we have to really ground ourselves in the motion and then the doing, and then you become. This is a process. This is not you snap your fingers and all of a sudden you're Alice today, 135 pounds, 70 pounds later, and feeling so much more amazing with her health. Isn't that, I love her story, and it just brings me to tears. And it's really about reprogramming our subconscious. And the only way to really intercept our conscious mind, are the things that we automatically go to, is starting to unravel through actions, daily efforts and actions, and really getting into the mindset piece. And all of my programs really get into more of that. We talked also about practicing spirituality, meditation, and raising our awareness. Remember the breathing exercise that Kristen Mashonas took us through. And this is so critical in terms of really another secret to an unstoppable mind. If you can go back to breathing exercises, you can kind of intercept interference and stress around you. These are really key foundations to having an unstoppable mind and body, no matter what crap is going on around us. And we have a lot of crap going on around us right now, right? So what is, this is another secret that's super important to come back to. And if you are interested in learning more about how you can intercept stress, and just keep following me, join my group program, because we'll be getting into that deeply and getting into the practice of power of silence, turning off your electronics, giving yourself a chance to listen to your breath when you eat, when you walk, when you're working. I had a client a couple years ago, Irene, who said to me, "Oh my gosh, I forget to breathe sometimes. I'm so focused in my work, I forget to breathe." And she had high blood pressure, and she was almost 200 pounds. And her health was really on the decline. But she said, I was like, so we went through sessions together to practice learning how to breathe. And we went week after week to actually retrain, paying attention to her breath. And those are just examples of the power of having the accountability and guidance to actually change your habits and the way you do things. We talked about eating for metabolism. Again, nutrient deficient foods or nutrient poor foods. Anything that's in a box wrapper, fruit juice, like all of these things are anti-nutrients. But what we did talk about also was nutrient dense foods, closest to the source, eating in a paleo approach way that's least processed, that's as closest to the ground, closest to our environment, that is clean. And in my group coaching programs, basically, I will give you the whole list of foods. I will give you basically what the transition plans from nuts to bolts in terms of the foods that you should have, and some great recipes. We talked about sugar, and also how sugar has 0 vitamins, 0 minerals, 0 enzymes, 0 fibers, 0 fiber. It's an anti-nutrient. It will deplete your vitamins that you're taking on a daily basis. So if you have hidden sugars in your diet, we got to cut that out. Another secret. So what is a paleo? Again, eating as closest to the source as possible, limiting, processed oils and things that are inflammatory to our bodies. artificial sweeteners, industrial seed oils, processed wheat and gluten. For some people who have leaky gut and are dealing with IBS or irritable bowel syndrome or have constipation, you are likely having leaky gut syndrome, and that can be healed. But basically that's a sign that you're not processing your food and actually absorbing the nutrition that you need. And then we also learned that hunger is a physiological call to food. So when your body's really hungry, it builds up gradually, the hunger, the physical hunger. But when it's an emotional appetite, it comes on really suddenly. So paying attention to these signals is really important in terms of really tuning in. And in my programs, again, we start tuning in. We start tuning in and changing the mindset. And then again, we talked about think fat loss and not weight loss. It's not just about your total body weight, but it's about shrinking and gobbling up your body fat. And it is totally possible through 100% nutrition to gobble up body fat. And like I showed you on the reports for my clients, we were able to gobble up body fat over time. And it happens, and it's transforming. The visual look on how people look in terms of the shrinking of the body fat, the size of clothes that they're in, how their face looks, how their skin condition looks, hair, body, and nails. It's just unbelievable. I mean, choosing to actually eat in a manner that gobbles up body fat is just incredible. It will change your life, and it's not about caloric restriction. And so today is really about setting up your daily game plan. And I know you've probably heard of SMART goals, but we need to be specific. We need to be measurable. We need it to be achievable and realistic, and it should be time bound. So working on our action plan today, I want you to think about setting up your daily game plan. So you want to work 3 months ahead and work backwards. So an average pound of weight loss per week naturally without excessive caloric restriction, which is going to always backfire on you, is about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds. Write that down. 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a week. Okay. So where your current weight is, I want you to think about, where do you want to be 3 months from now? Doesn't mean that you could actually exceed the 1 to 1.5 pounds per week, depending on how committed you are and how diligent you are and how much interference you might have. But I want you to calculate 1 to 1.5 pounds per week. And where do you need to be 3 months from now? What does that look like? So estimate your target goal weight 3 months from now. Okay? And think about, what are those things from a daily action standpoint? Just think about your day to day. What's really important in terms of how you're going to make that change? Remember, we talked about what's your biggest struggle and your biggest gap. Is it about the nutrition mechanics? Is it about what's on your plate? Is it about meal planning? Is it about scheduling things? Is it about really kind of leaving time and space? What does your daily action look like that actually has been preventing you and that you need to change around? And then think about your week. Okay, think about how your family eats, how your family works, how you're homeschooling, whatever you need to do. Think about your weekly actions. What could that look like? And then think about it from a monthly standpoint. Where do you want to be? So 3 months from now, where do you want to be? What does that look like? Anybody want to share what 3 months? So that's January, February, March. In March, we're just going to be starting spring. Just imagine yourself, take a deep breath into that. 3 months from now, I know for some of you, it might be hard to imagine. And maybe some of you need just a tweak. some of you need a complete, complete change. And it's overwhelming to have a complete change, and think of it, it's kind of overwhelming. So joining a group program, working with a health coach is actually critical to actually helping you succeed. But 3 months from now, what does that look like? For me, I actually want to gain up lean mass. I lost lean mass over COVID because I wasn't strength training as regularly. And I also added additional fat pounds. So I got to get rid of that. So when I'm working with you, I'm going to be doing the same thing that you're doing. I increased my alcohol consumption. I had more wine during the week. And how many people had more wine during the week? Raise your hand. Okay. Yeah, a lot of you. And actually, a client of mine just called me, and she had a call with me, and we had a heart-to-heart 2 weeks ago. And she called me in tears, and she said, my conversation with you was life-changing. I realized that I'm really having trouble with alcohol. And what alcohol does is actually accumulates over time your tolerance. And she said, I'm going to start working with you, but I'm checking myself into a rehab program for a month because it was interfering with her daily life. And believe it or not, if you're drinking day in and day out, alcohol will not only impede your fat loss, but impedes your ability to rationalize what you're doing in terms of your habits. And so I encourage you to really look at that. And she's going to change her life around. And all her health markers were going down the tubes over the last few months. And she's going to turn that around. And we're going to work together to do that, make the shifts. So think about that. Your game plan, is it about wine? Is it like cutting out what you're having during the week? How many glasses of wine or alcohol are you having? Are you having beer, which is higher in carbohydrates than any other alcohol? That's a big issue, I know, especially during COVID. And yes, it's enjoyable and so forth, but actually it impedes your weight loss goals. And if you are having symptoms, it accelerates, it actually fuels the fire to inflame your body. So I want you to think about like what your week looks like, what your days look like, what your month is going to look like, and what kind of support do you need. When you think about your month, so think about in February where you want to be. So if you want to be down 5 to 10 pounds, you can get down 5 to 10 pounds in the next month to 6 weeks. Possibly more, depends on where your weight is starting. In the initial down curve, like I showed you on some of my clients' reports, initial down curve, if you're close to 200 pounds, you will drop significant weight initially. It will show a deep downslope, but it will level out. And that's just your body adjusting to all these mechanics. It's like your inflammation is shrinking. That's what happens initially. But like, I want you to think about a month from now, if you just lost 10 pounds, what that would look like. It will actually decrease your knee pain, your joint pain. If you have PMS, it actually can decrease PMS, or hormonal imbalances. If you're going through menopause, your hot flashes and your night sweats, or if you're having those kind of hormonal symptoms, it actually can resolve some of that pretty quickly. And brain fog. And most people who come out of working with me for the beginning of 6 weeks, they start clearing up. They see things more clearly. They're able to make better decisions for themselves. And they are getting into practice. And it's so hard. It's like working with a personal trainer week to week. When your week is made up of some level of exercise, you go into the gym, or you work with your trainer once or twice a week, and you're committed to that time. And that shift is week to week, week after week. You're actually kind of adding to your toolbox, adding to your credits, your health credits, week after week. So I want you to think about what you're committing to help you reach your target goal in 3 months. Do you guys have questions? Unmute yourselves and ask me questions, or tell us, you know, when you declare this out to the group, actually, you're much more committed, because when you're declaring you're vocalizing your goals to the universe, it actually is this powerful thing that happens. Because and even like posting it on Facebook or posting it on social and saying, here's what I'm doing. And maybe you don't want to share, but basically when you share out loud to your family, to your friends, to this group, you're much more accountable to your goals. So anybody want to share or have questions about this? Lisa says I have to type in because I'm sharing the office space. Okay. All right. Anybody have any questions? How are you going to do this? Are you confused? Are you overwhelmed? Do you know what you're going to do? What are you going to do? May?
Yep. In fact, I have set myself a target to reduce the 20 kilos in 3 months' time.
To reduce the what?
20 kilos.
20 kilos.
Yeah. It's about 20 times 2.2 is about 44 pounds.
44 pounds. Okay. Do you know how much 44 pounds takes? Almost a whole year. Like Alice went through 9 months or more to lose 50 pounds. That takes a whole year.
But my size is not really that huge, you know, but just only thing that if it probably my weight is come from, I don't know what is it. I did measure because the fat is definitely there. So I need to reduce my fat.
You need
especially on the visceral fat. Yeah.
Oh, your visceral fat, your belly fat, your organ fat. Yeah.
My belly is not really big. It's like normal.
Okay.
But the store is small on my thigh. That's why I do more exercise, to improve my thigh. Okay. So I walk, I jog, and then do more everything on the time.
Good points. So May, to lose 44 pounds takes almost a whole year. It could be done close to, you could lose about 30 pounds, like 20 to 30 pounds in 6 months. Okay.
In fact, I have tried before in my earliest time, my experience. Yeah. That within 3 months, I'd be able to cut down like 15 kilos.
Okay.
It's about 33 kilos.
Okay.
33 pounds.
33 pounds.
In my pounds, yeah.
That's
in
a bit
3 months' time.
That's a bit extreme, but I want to make sure that you're not doing it by just closing. If you're doing caloric restriction, you will gain that weight back, May.
Yeah, I know.
What concerns me is what we learned on yesterday is exercise does not change your fat. Whether it's on your butt or on your legs or your belly, exercise doesn't change your fat. It has nothing to do with your body.
Yeah, I know.
It's completely nutrition.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. That's why I have to change my daily diet now. Because exercise is one of it, a part of it, and then my daily intake is very important. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So good. Thank you for sharing that, May. May, and I don't know if you set up that one-on-one with me. Are you going to do that? Set up that one-on-one.
So because I couldn't start in this month because my schedule is very bit tight, but probably I will come in.
30 minutes. Okay. Yeah. 30 minutes to focus on you, and you fill out a form, and basically we go over your health history. It's personalized for you, so you can at least get a head start and know what to do. Otherwise, you're just kind of doing this on your own, and
understand,
hard to do on the willpower. You know, so I want to help you. book that one-on-one. If you don't see times in the calendar, email me at tina@goodnessmultiplied.com and
Okay.
we'll figure out a time that's going to work for you. Okay.
All right. All right.
So good. Thank you for your comments there. I'm excited for you to lose 44 pounds, 6 to 9 months, hopefully. Lisa
Mhm.
said changing my plate will be easy for me, but making separate meals for her terribly.
Actually, I did once because my sizes I reduces from double XL to L.
Okay, good. So you
I
already
did
went
once
down.
before. I did one before.
Oh, you've
But
done that.
this is my another round because my type of work, so I sit a lot, you see. So
Okay.
I don't tend to move around. That's why
Okay.
I have to start something back to the normal routine.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling since you're so busy and I saw your comment about traveling a lot, right? For work? Is that what you have to do? A lot of traveling
Yeah, most of the time I'll be on my car, inside my car.
inside your car. That is
Yeah.
such a hard job. Yes, if you're in sales or if you're in any kind of job where you're in your car and you're driving around, you're not moving your body. So that's
Yeah.
really important. And it's difficult actually to eat well because you're kind of you're just locked into what's on the road. So fast food, easy food that you're picking up, right?
Hardly. I seldom take fast food. I never like
Okay.
soft drink, all those I never like. No,
Okay,
no
good.
beer, no alcohol.
Okay. So the thing is, so tell me a little bit more, like, so how do you think you gained all that weight, May?
I think it's because of the metabolism, my age catching up, so it's a
Okay.
bit slow. Yeah, it's
And
because of
May,
that.
okay, so
And
May,
then yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. May.
Yes, another thing, I do have an insomnia for my past 30 over years. That's the main problem. I can't sleep well because I do not have a deep sleep.
Okay. Well,
So that's
that
how
is
it built
so
up. Yeah.
important. Sleep is so important to your fat loss goals.
Yes,
Write that
understand.
down. That's another secret. Sleep is so important to your fat loss goals because your hormones are all resetting in the middle of the night while you're resting.
Yes.
Remember we talked about homeostasis? Your body's constantly readjusting and adjusting and trying to get back to normal. When you go to sleep, your body is trying to reset all its hormones to do all the insulin activity that it needs to increase insulin, to bring your blood sugar down, to balance your cortisol, all of those things while you're
Yeah.
sleeping. And if you're not sleeping a full 7 to 8 hours in a deep way, without REM state, you're waking up exhausted, then you're actually not actually resetting the button. And
Yeah.
it's so difficult for you to lose weight. And
Yeah.
people who are up late at night, like you are right now at 1 o'clock in the morning, have a huge hurdle. So it's like the wind down routine is super important. Does anybody else struggle with sleep at night? That could be a hormonal issue. That could be going through menopause. And yes, your metabolism slows down when you're in your middle ages, in your 50s and 60s, and even in your 40s. But what it is totally possible to rebalance your hormones and clean that up with diet. It is totally.
Yeah, because now I'm close to 60 already.
Well, you look beautiful, but let's help you
Thank
turn that
you.
around. So
In
maybe,
fact, I started at my age of like 35, 30 and 35. I started to really take care of my daily intake.
okay,
After all, because you see, the sleep is very important because if you do not have enough rest,
yeah,
so the whole body will go haywire. This is the main thing.
exactly. It goes haywire. That's right, May. So how are you going to do this? Achieve your 44-pound weight loss,
Mm,
fat loss.
the most important part, you must rest before 11. 11 to 2 is the most important time. Don't ever stay late. if I wanted to do something like, like usually if you work in the midnight, it is much more better, like, you feel more fresh.
Yeah.
And the idea, it is slow, like,
Yeah.
some things that happen is very miraculous.
Yeah.
Very
There's
miracle. That I like that.
Yes. So the sleep is very important.
Yeah.
As a health coach working with you one-on-one, I'm an active observer. So I ask very key questions that sometimes doctors don't ask you. They don't ask
Yeah.
you those things. They don't ask you those questions that are important. What are those other factors that might be hanging around in your life that are impeding your health, right? But
Mhm.
basically, May, I would love to talk to you about what's on your plate and actually look at what you're eating to be able to help you and guide you a little further. Because when I work one-on-one with people, clients are messaging me or emailing me pictures of their food, and or it's not, and they have to make it very easy. It could just come in a text or in an email, and I help them, guide them, like more this, less that, try to clean up this, do this, substitute that. So there's a dialogue that happens in my private coaching programs when you work one-on-one with me, and we're making adjustments week to week. And so when people are doing this on their own, they think they know what they're doing to actually maximize fat loss, but sometimes it's not helping them. It's just they think that just eating less is actually fat loss, but it's not about eating less, because
No,
that
because
will
if you
yeah,
no,
exactly.
you reduce your food, that means your body will be weakened.
Yes,
So it is not enough of nutrition. So it
yes,
is much more trouble later on.
yes. So May,
Uh,
please book that one-on-one so we can get more specific on your goals. Anything else? Any other questions, you guys, in terms of what we need to do in terms of goals? I want you to set that target goal weight 3 months from now, knowing that the formula is 1 pound to 1.5 pounds a week, and book that one-on-one session with me, and I'm going to help you give you a little mini plan on how you're going to be able to get there. And in my group coaching program, again, I really would like you to join, because this is where we can all support each other in a group program. And this is for the Make Life Delicious group community. So what this is it's a group coaching program which has limited spots. I'm going to give you my attention to this small group, and we're going to meet week after week for 6 weeks. And we're going to go through retraining our mindset, our habits, and we're going to get fully into the mechanics of food, into the deep dives, into the macros, into the micros, into your supplementation. We're going to really get into the deep dive into that. And we're going to, in having a group support, we're going to have a separate private page where we can support each other and post our challenges and what we're having difficulty with. So we all problem solve around that. And typically this program is a lot of money, okay, for a group program. But I'm offering this just today, this $597, just through this week. And I had given you a heads up on this earlier. But if you book and join the group today by 8 o'clock tonight, that is the deadline. You receive 2 private sessions with me. 2 private sessions with me. And that is incredibly valued. That's a $600 value where we can actually problem solve specifically around your needs. In the group, I'm going to be laying out a general plan, and everybody's kind of have to support each other in a group format. But if you want personalization, the bonus is that joining right now, today, January 8th, to jump into the group program, it's only $597. And to find something like this to actually help you start retraining. Will 6 weeks get you down 44 pounds? No, it's not. But it's just the beginning. But I'm going to be your coach and guide to help you retrain, give you the tools and the steps to actually change, shift week to week. So there's some questions coming in. Okay, so can you focus on inches lost rather than pounds lost? I don't own a scale. Over the years, I found that knowing how my clothes fits is a key indicator. That's a great question. So yesterday we talked about body fat taking more volume. So the same 5 pounds of body fat and muscle, right? So body fat looks much bigger. And I wish I had a visual. I'll post a picture later. But body fat takes more volume. All right. It looks bigger, right? It's like double the size. If you have the two, you have body fat and you have muscle right next to each other, and they're 5 pounds each. Okay. The body fat's going to look bigger. So that's why your belly's bigger or your thighs are bigger, because the body fat takes more volume. Okay. So you can focus on inches lost. You can measure your waist circumference. Most times people know when they're losing weight when they start getting a little looser in their pants, right? Right. And buttoning their jackets and things like that. Everybody loses weight differently. Some people lose weight first in their breasts. Like, unfortunately, I have no breasts. And those are the first things that go. And I hate that. But when I lose weight, I lose, like, it's like somehow it's like it just goes away. So I wish I can hold on to it, but that's the first place it goes for me. Some people lose weight in their butt. Some people lose weight in their arms. Everybody's in a different place. Everybody kind of shrinks differently. And when you are able to access, if you are able to access a DEXA scan or an in-body machine test, you can actually measure where you're losing body fat, like by limbs and your abdomen and your midsection. It actually breaks it down for you. But yes, you can focus on inches lost. But if your factor is measuring body fat, like Fred said, I can tell when somebody's cheating. And I showed you that graph yesterday when one of my clients went up in 2 fat pounds over a weekend. And I'm like, what the heck happened? She totally binged out and like she was partying it up for that weekend. And it showed up like Tuesday or Wednesday the next week. I could tell when and she may not tell me about it. I'm like, what happened, Karen? What was going on over here? So it shows up like when you're actually losing body fat, and you can see that body fat meter, okay? And you can get a bioimpedance scale to do that. Actually measure body fat versus muscle lean mass. Yes, you can focus on inches lost rather than pounds lost. But that it's going to be more difficult to accelerate your goals and really get more accurate. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions? So if you have not booked your one-on-one, this is a free one-on-one with me. I send you a health history form that's multiple pages long. It's an intake session. Typically, this intake session is anywhere from $285 to $300. This is what functional medicine doctors actually go through. This is actually a functional medicine health history form. And what I go through is not just about what you eat, but your lifestyle, your symptoms, your past history, all of that, your dietary habits. And we break this down in your one-on-one session. We really kind of get specific about your specific challenges and your biggest blocks. So book that one-on-one session today, which will be an application into my 6-week group coaching program. This group coaching program has been successful for so many clients over the years. And I've done it in many different formats and ways. And I will tell you, you will lose up to 15 pounds of body fat. You will lose 15 pounds of body fat in 6 weeks. And if you're not reaching that, there's other factors that might be in the way, but we can problem solve around that. Lisa asked, where do you get those scans you showed us? Do you scan, or do your clients go and get that done daily or weekly? So typically those scans, it's called in-body machines. And most high-end gyms, if YMCAs are open near you, or most high-end, like very larger fitness centers will have the InBody machine all around the world. They might have some around you as well. But to go check yourself and get a scan once a week would be ideal. Once a week at the same time, around the same time of day, because all your day, like if you go at night and in the morning, you're kind of fluctuating in terms of when you take the test, but you want to kind of go generally in the morning or afternoon or evening. Decide when you're going to get that test, because it's called an InBody machine. And I might be able to help you find where the InBody test machines are in your specific area. Definitely request that in your one-on-one, and I will look that up for you. And I might be able to find that through InBody company. But basically, you can get that test. Most gyms may charge a little bit of money for it. I don't know, $40 or something like that. Or at the simplest level, you can go pick up a bioimpedance scale on Amazon, and it's like a Weight Watcher scale. There's different kinds, but it's probably about $40 or $50 online, and that's not as accurate as an InBody, but at least it's a measurement that you can take at home conveniently. But the InBody test or the DEXA scan, which is a medical grade scan, will get very accurate in terms of where you are in your body fat and how much visceral fat you actually have. On the home devices, you don't really get an indicator of visceral fat most often. Yeah. So I haven't seen that really. So it'll measure your body fat percentage or body fat pounds or your lean mass pounds, but it won't actually get into your visceral fat. It's unlikely that you can find a machine that does that, but who knows? If you can find it, that would be great. So book your one-on-one spot. And this is our last day together, and I want to congratulate you. Who feels more motivated to take action after this week? Raise your hand. Anybody want to share? What are you committed to? What are you committed to? Speak it in, unmute yourselves. I want to hear your beautiful voices. Speak it in. Speak it out loud so the world hears you. Who's that?
I think for me is to, like, for the most part, I eat very healthy, but I think sometimes it's the little snack here and there that can slide in. I don't drink soft drinks, I don't drink alcohol, but I think it's two things for me is because my job, like May, I sit a lot. And then also when I have so much going on, then I tend to have little snack to fuel my energy because I'm just tired. There's so much stimulation and decisions I make every day. So I'm just really cautious about what do I pick up. So sometimes, like in the wintertime, I always like to drink hot chocolate in the morning. So
oh God, that's like pouring sugar down your throat.
I know, but it's just like so comforting. So yesterday I find myself like going to grab that. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So I did not do the hot chocolate,
Yeah.
usually for the winter time. So I think it's just being more cautious about it and just reminding myself. And it really is a lifestyle change and it's not like overnight. But I think I just need like small tricks here and there because I don't really obsess too much of like sugar, but here and there it can add up.
It does add up. So you think it's just a little bit, just
Mhm.
one snack a day, one bite a day, but the thing is, we talked about this, your brain gets hooked to that. And what you're doing is you're learning in your brain that you need that for energy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right? So we talked about that. So you're teaching your brain that that's what you need for energy. And in my programs, so working with me, we will come up with other strategies around that. Okay?
Yeah.
And everybody is specific about how that works. But so tell me basically, what else are you struggling with, Doris?
Obviously I don't exercise.
Mhm.
I have not been an exercise person, really. So
Mhm.
I I have been skinny all my life, and even though after I have two kids, I gain the weight, but then I lose it back. So I don't really have a problem. I think once you get to 40s,
Mhm.
that's when metabolism really go down. And
Mhm.
even though I don't really eat much or change what I ate as my diet,
Mhm.
and I found it my weight gain and my pant size go up,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff make me feel uncomfortable because my body frame is small. So people may be like, oh, you're fine, you're not fat, you're fine, but like for me is I feel uncomfortable.
Right.
So I wear dresses because it loose and don't feel so bad. But
Yeah.
there are days no, I just have to wear my jeans so I can just tighten up my belly.
Yeah.
So you just tend to like changing it just to make you feel better, but internally you
Yeah.
just don't like how used to be. And of course you cannot be used to be in your 20s. I know I cannot be thinking that way, but part of my brain is like, hey, I didn't really change anything. I was eating the same thing what I always have been, but now it's like, why is it so difficult?
Yeah.
So just frustrating sometimes.
Right. I understand. So yes, our metabolism does slow down as we age and we go through hormonal changes as women. And the thing is, it's a life term of habits that you've been doing, like having that hot cocoa in the morning in the winters, that's your go-to, right?
Hmm.
So these are steps that actually you can change with positively encouraging, giving you the energy. For you, Doris, it's about sustaining your energy and feeling
Mm.
good within your body. So for you, Doris, like if you're at a more petite size, uh,
Hmm.
so if you're at a petite size, like 2 pounds can be a lot on you.
Yeah, I mean 5 pounds make a huge difference. I can
Five
see
pounds
it.
looks
Yeah,
life changing to you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
It does.
if
It
you're
does.
smaller in stature,
Uh-huh.
just a
Right.
little bit can make a huge difference.
Mm.
If you're 150 pounds, losing 5 pounds, losing 10 pounds can make a whole world of a difference, even just transform the way you look. If you're 150 pounds to 200 pounds, the changes happen a little bit slower. It takes longer. Okay. And right now, if you're carrying over 20, 30 pounds of body fat, that's dangerous. That is where your health needs to be turned around, especially in the midst of COVID, no matter what part of the world that you're in right now. And so, if you want to retrain your habits, um, this is what's really what it's about. Because we say we're going to do something, and then what happens? We don't do it because we get sidelined, right?
Yeah, I think it's not just the weight part. It's like when I'm now climbing stairs, sometimes my knee hurt, and then it was fine, and then it comes back, and so I don't know. It was something to do with whatever. So you have other part you don't feel as physically fit.
Yes.
That's also something I want to focus on.
Right. So absolutely. Just even having that joint pain is an indicator that something else is going on, Doris. That you have some inflammation in your body.
Yeah, I think I do.
I
I
mean,
do.
physically, you may look okay to the
Mm,
everyday person out there.
right.
If you're having joint pain, that says that you have some inflammation going on, and it's definitely food related. It's
Yeah, I think also like I don't have allergy, but I think right now I have some rash that due to seafood. I always like to eat seafood, not like a ton where we are. It's not fresh, but
Mhm.
now I cannot even eat fish
Okay.
because I got rash. So I noticed some of those. That's why I was
Activity.
wondering if I need to do a like allergy test or something
Yeah.
because out
Well,
of the blue it's starting happening.
yes. So sometimes that happens where you actually, over time, you begin to have new food sensitivity.
I think so.
What it is you may have leaky gut. Even though you're not 100 pounds overweight, you actually might have some digestive things that are going on. And the program, in terms of me guiding you through this, I will help you heal your gut. And that's where all of our hormones are existing. And, part of it is like, change this up, Doris, X, Y, and Z. Change up this, get rid of the dairy, get rid of the grains, get this, get this, get this, or swap it with this. Here's what you should do. Let's see how that feels over the next week or two. Okay. And then basically we talk again and we figure out, all right, it wasn't that. It might not be an elimination. It may be something else. But basically, you won't know that process until you actually bring it into a practical form, until you bring it into a setup where you're actually focusing on clearing things up in your body and healing your body. So, so thanks, Doris, for sharing. Book that one-on-one. We'll get more into your specific, because when I go through the health history, then it'll give me more data and information to help you really
Yeah, I did sign
get
up.
into the specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I went over my time. If there's no other further questions, continue to stay in the Make Life Delicious group page. Book your one-on-one. Tonight at 5 o'clock, I'm going to announce a full scholarship winner to my group program. And but at 8 o'clock, this $597 group seat ticket is going to expire. It will go down. So please, if you are serious about joining me for 6 weeks in a group format, this could change your life, and you'll get the support that you need and the tools that you need. I've done this a million times over and over again with lots of clients and multiple programs over the years. And it just continues to get better and better and better. So grab the 2 private coaching sessions by signing up tonight before 8 p.m. It's $597. You could just enter your credit card or PayPal in the link that is tinyurl Thrive 2021. And basically jump on this right now, because I want to help you turn your health around and have an unstoppable mind and body. And for those of you who have booked your one-on-ones, I'm so excited to support you. I'm so excited to be there for you and to get real into the nitty-gritty during our time together. So I'm here to serve you. In the group page, post your questions, post your homework. At 5 o'clock, I'm going to announce a winner for 1 scholarship ticket. And, we're going to let the games begin. And January 20th, we're going to start in a 6-week group program that will change the way you do things. And we're going to get into the mechanics of it. This is a much more affordable way than to do it one-on-one, but you don't have the personalization. It's hard to get into the deep one-on-ones. If you are interested in a private program, we can talk about that as an option. If your schedules don't work out, or if you need some more personalization around your specific goals. So I'm so grateful that you were able to join me this week. You guys have been amazing. I want you to thrive and have an unstoppable mind and body this year. Continue to stay with me in the group page and post your homework assignments, and use that workbook to actually use that as a tool and a guide for yourself. And if you do that one-on-one with me, if you scheduled the one-on-one, we're going to go over that workbook. So make sure that's filled out too before we meet. Okay. So happy Friday. So happy that you guys were able to join me. And I love you guys. And I wish you the most amazing health turnaround over the next few weeks, over the next few months. Take this seriously. This is the time to commit. And it's not just about willpower. It's about really changing your habits, changing your mindset, and the mechanics. The mechanics is such a small part of it, but I'm going to take you through all of that. So I love you guys. God bless you. Be safe. Take care of your families and yourself, most importantly, because you can't serve from an empty cup. And I love you guys. So have an awesome weekend. I look forward to seeing you in the group program and in your one-on-ones. Thank you so much for joining me this week.
Thanks,
And-
Tina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doris. And, comment in the video below what your one takeaway was, okay? In the group page, what is your one takeaway that you got today and what you're committed to going forward, okay? All right. Congratulations, you guys. You did an awesome job. See you soon. All right. See you in the page in the group.